Stop spoiling your gamer son, for God's sakes, you weird moms.
The Office is an American mockumentary sitcom television series that depicts the everyday work lives of blah, blah, blah. Okay, look, I think we all know the premise to The Office by now, so why don't we just get to the point? For nearly 20 years, the U.S. adaptation of Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant's critically acclaimed British sitcom The Office has crafted its own legacy as one of the most popular comedies in America. Well, after the first season at least. That one mainly copies the UK show to an unsuccessful T. Regardless, The Office has become somewhat of a cultural milestone at this point, so much so that it's kind of everywhere. It's got shirts, merch, podcasts made by some of the cast members, a documentary about the fictional mockumentary. The point is that it's everywhere. Enter the official YouTube channel for The Office, which every week uploads clips and compilations from the show, as well as special content for the community. Now, this isn't uncommon for the record. A lot of television shows have promotional YouTube channels. It makes sense that NBC would want to create a channel like this. They likely want to cater to new fans by uploading clips of the show to YouTube, thus increasing the likelihood of new fans getting the show on Peacock. But can a promotional YouTube channel like this, especially one as big as The Office's, ruin potential interest in what it's promoting? Now, some of you are probably thinking, Brian, what do you mean by that? Well, see, I've been watching a lot of clips of The Office recently, and they have a lot of clips on this YouTube channel. So many that a thought of my own came to me one day. I thought, gee, with how many clips of the show they release, like at an alarming rate, eventually they've just got to run out of show, right? Then I had another thought. And that thought was, would it be possible to reconstruct an entire episode of the show using just clips officially released by The Office's YouTube channel? And that's what I decided to do. I decided to break down an episode of The Office into little chunks and see if I could go through the official YouTube channel and match each bit in the episode with a clip officially released online. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm not doing this because I want to give people a free way to watch the show. The method I used to break this episode down should not be a replacement for the actual content of the episode. If you are going to watch The Office, I highly recommend watching it through official means if you are able to do so, either by purchasing it physically or watching it digitally. I'm doing this because I want to answer a question I have. Can an official promotional channel actually kill potential interest in what it's promoting by uploading the entirety of it for free? This is merely an experiment to determine whether or not the official channel is overdoing their promotion. Plus, I think it'd be a fun game to see how much of an episode we can actually reconstruct using just clips. It would be a good time for me to flex my editing and story structure knowledge. Oh God, why did I go to Chipotle before filming this video? The episode I decided to break down was Season 2, Episode 22, Casino Night. Now, this episode is actually the finale to Season 2, so it's actually a bit lengthier than most episodes, being a supersized one, clocking in at 27 minutes and 5 seconds, without credits. TV specials are sometimes shortened down for future releases, usually to hit a half-hour block. Therefore, because this episode is longer than most, my goal for this was to at least reconstruct about 20 minutes and 30 seconds of the actual episode, which is the average length of most episodes of the show anyway. I also broke it down into 4 acts, similar to how most syndicated sitcoms at the time used a 4-act structure to separate the setup, rising action, conflict, and resolution. Oh, this is a film degree. I thought it was a coaster. Anyway, let's see how I did. Casino Night begins with a talking head interview of Michael explaining Casino Night and then proceeds to say the word philanthropist wrong. This bit is clipped on YouTube under Casino Night Fun Facts, a Peacock Extra, from the beginning of it to 29 seconds. Now, the thing with this video in particular is that it has these little fun facts overlaid on top of the clip, as I couldn't find the clip by itself without these fun facts. That's a good sign for how this is going to go, I'm sure, but we're still going to count it. Next up in the episode, Dwight comes in wearing a tux for Casino Night and gets made fun of by Jim. Already I failed to reconstruct the entire episode because I couldn't find this clip anywhere. But that's okay, because remember, our goal here is to reconstruct about 20 minutes of it, the standard length of most episodes of The Office. To make up for that loss, the next bit of the episode involves Jim and Pam pranking Dwight into thinking that Jim has telepathic powers, because why not? It's not like they have anything better to do. This bit on YouTube can be found through the video Jim's Mind Control Prank, bringing us to 1 minute and 49 seconds. The next part is where it gets tricky, as we have the theme song to The Office. Now everybody knows how the opening to The Office goes, but oddly enough, the official YouTube channel has never uploaded the opening by itself. So I had to do some deep digging for this one. Turns out, around the time of the release of Minions Rise of Gru, which starred Steve Carell as the title character of Gru, The Office uploaded a variation of the opening where all the characters are replaced with minions. Now, I'm not going to cheat and use the version with the minions for the opening to this episode. However, the channel actually released a side-by-side comparison video comparing the Minions variety to the actual opening of the show. So we are going to be using that video to count for our reconstructed episode. I made this game, so I play it how I want. For now, let's review. At this point, the actual episode has reached the 3-minute mark, while our reconstructed episode should be at 2 minutes and 26 seconds. So far, not bad. Let's keep going. Next up in the episode is a cutaway bit in which Dwight inspects the coat rack after that prank played on him. Once again, I couldn't find this one due to it being an 8-second clip with no real context, so if it were uploaded to the channel, it would have been added to the end of Jim's mind control prank. However, it wasn't, so I'm not too worried about it. Moving on, Michael asks Janet to come to casino night. This was found in Michael Drops a Deuce on Everyone at 00 to 103. This video actually contains 2 clips from the episode, which we'll count in a bit. Next up is a long stretch in which we have several great bits played back to back. Michael is talking to the office about casino night. We get several talking heads where characters are interviewed on which charities they will be donating to. We get the famous "Why are you the way that you are" bit. And finally, Michael talks about making jokes about Abe Lincoln. Here I thought all these bits would be spaced out on the channel, but all of it can actually be found here in the video, picking a charity, The Office US. Proceeding on, in the episode, Jim and Pam then discuss going through band videos for Pam and Roy's wedding, followed by the infamous line where Jim states that he is transferring and that he has no future here. Sadly, I could not find that line anywhere on the channel in any video, not in any kind of best of Jim compilations or those videos about the love story between Jim and Pam. But I did manage to find that bit where Jim and Pam look through wedding tapes under the video The Complete Best of Scrantonicity from 025 to 106. Jumping ahead, that same video contains a bit later on where Jim and Pam see Kevin on the drums at 106 to 208. Actually, though, upon further inspection of that clip, I found that it was actually missing about 4 seconds from the actual episode. It's just a few seconds where Jim is complimenting Kevin on drumming and singing, so it's really not too important. However, I not only found that very same clip in Casino Night Fun Facts, but it was the original clip with the missing 4 seconds. I mean, it still has those fun facts over them, but I just figured I'd mention that I managed to find that same clip uploaded to the channel twice. I'm sure we won't ever run into that problem again. Anyway, Daryl messes with Michael, which can be found in The Best of Daryl at the beginning to 106. The episode has another cutaway with Dwight where he tries to move his bobblehead with his mind, which I once again could not find. But thankfully we have the end of this act in which Michael invites both Carol and Jan, ending it with the phrase, "I am going to drop a deuce on everyone." This of course brings us back to Michael drops a deuce on everyone at 105 to 330. The end of this act brings the runtime of the episode to 13 minutes and 13 seconds, and from accumulated clips we have about 11 minutes and 53 seconds.
Well, holy crap, Lois, he might actually be able to make his goal of rebuilding 20 minutes of the episode.
Is what a lot of you are probably thinking, but this is where things start to fall apart, unfortunately. Now I managed to find the beginning of the next act in which Casino Night begins and Michael greets Carol in Casino Night Fun Facts. However, next up in the episode, the following events take place in this order. Dwight's talking head about being Michael's wingman, Michael offering Carol a drink, Creed stealing stuff, an awkward bit with Michael and that one side character in a wheelchair, Michael being a jackass. I think I just described the whole show now that I think about it. Michael losing to Toby, Dwight losing to Jim, Janet arriving to Casino Night, Dwight kissing Angela, Jim and Pam flirting behind Roy's back, Carol and Jan's awkward conversation, more of Creed stealing, Jim and Ryan talking about Kelly, and Michael trying to be on a date with both Carol and Jan. And from that sequence of events, I was only able to find these clips of them. The beginning of Casino Night, the wheelchair guy bit, and Jim and Ryan talking about Kelly were found in Casino Night Fun Facts. Creed stealing was found in Creed, but he progressively gets more Creed, and Dwight kissing Angela was found in Dwight and Angela. This act ends at 21 minutes and 14 seconds, and the combined clip so far brings us up to 14 minutes. Disappointing, I know, but we still have a little bit of the episode left, so let's see if I can reach that 20 minute and 30 second goal that I set for myself. The last act begins with Kevin flexing his poker knowledge at the audience before losing to Phyllis and Bob Vance of Vance Refrigeration, and getting hired by Roy to play him in Jam's wedding. I found the first part of this Kevin losing bit in a video called Kevin is a Secret Genius, not clickbait, at 137 to 147. I guess they were trying to do a YouTube thing with that title. I don't know. However, they didn't include the part where Kevin loses and says, "I suck" in a defeated manner, which is bullshit that the YouTube channel hasn't uploaded my clip because it's my favorite part of the episode. Ugh. At least they uploaded Roy hiring Kevin in the complete best of Scrantonicity at 210 to 233. It is missing the part where Roy comes in after Kevin loses, but hey, I took what I could get. There's a bit where Jim and Jan talk that I could not find, followed by Creed stealing some more before he wins the grand prize for all his theft. I found Creed stealing in Creed, but he progressively gets more Creed at 1241 to 1247, but not when he wins the fridge, unfortunately. The episode has a final bit wrapping up the Michael, Jan, and Carol storyline, which I once again could not find. However, this final bit will more than make up for it. This episode is famous/infamous for it being the episode where Jim finally confesses his love for Pam before passionately kissing her at his desk in the office. These two moments in particular were uploaded under the appropriately named video, Jim Confesses His Love. With that episode wrapped up at 27 minutes and 6 seconds, not including credits.
Hey guys, Post Brian here. The actual episode length is 27 minutes and 48 seconds. I don't know where the fuck I got 27 minutes and 6 seconds, but whoops.
We have our final total of clips, which runs up to 17 minutes and 32 seconds. So I wasn't able to reconstruct the 20 minutes and 30 seconds like I wanted to. But let's put it in perspective now that we have our total for this episode. Without credits, Casino Night is 27:06. Our reconstructed episode is 17:32. That's still more than half of the actual episode. Not to mention there's one aspect of these clips we're overlooking, the Jim and Pam ones. I would argue that the most important clips of this episode are the ones with Jim and Pam that progresses the story of The Office. The rest of the episode is funny, obviously, but with these Jim and Pam clips released online, there's really no point in watching the official episode besides to catch up on those missing 9 minutes and 34 seconds that I couldn't find. Meaning that if you really wanted to and were willing to go out of your way and do a deep dive, you could watch a majority of this episode through just clips on the official Office YouTube channel, without watching the actual episode as it was originally constructed for television. I still consider that a success. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking. Brian, Casino Night is one of the most critically acclaimed episodes of the show. Of course you'd be able to find clips of it online. And you're absolutely right. I felt like I was kind of cheating by picking a popular episode that's been rated very high on IMDb. So, in the interest of fairness, I decided to perform this experiment 2 more times. Once with an episode that is completely random, and once with one of the lowest rated episodes on IMDb. My goal this time was to see if I could recreate half of these episodes like I did with Casino Night, so let's see how I did.
Hey guys, Post Brian here once again. I'm editing this right now, but I'm getting so tired of editing in all of these little animations of the TV moving in and out and the computer in and out, and I'm so tired and I just really want to go to bed, so I'm just gonna make them pop in for the rest of the video. Okay, I'm so upset and this is too much for me. Why do you make me do this?
So for this part of the experiment, I picked a completely random episode using a random episode generator, link in the description, which turned out to be Season 6, Episode 26, The Whistleblower. I didn't realize until writing this script that this episode was actually the finale to Season 6, which is odd considering that the episode doesn't really feel like one at all, but whatever. Now, for the sake of brevity and moving things along, I'm not going to be breaking down this entire episode, just breaking down the clips I actually found. The beginning of the episode has this bit where Michael is trying to get everybody in the office to watch a clip of him on the news to increase viewership.
Speaking of which, everybody go watch my Star Wars tier list video, it's pretty good.
But everybody in the office ends up watching this video of a cute otter instead. I found this clip in the video You 100% Forgot About This Hilarious Cold Open, which is about 55 seconds. Unfortunately, the video is in a vertical video format, most likely for iPhones, but I don't care, it still counts. Side note, this isn't the whole cold open, as there's a bit beforehand where Packer pranks Michael, but I couldn't find it. The missing bit is about 50 seconds long, but either way, I didn't think it was worth it, considering that, spoiler alert, I didn't do much better with the rest of this episode. Once again, I used the Minions opening credits side-by-side comparison video for the opening. The opening to this episode is somewhat shortened for television, but I'd say it still applies and fills in a good 30 seconds. Later on in the episode, when Kathy Bates' character is interrogating members of the office to see who the titular whistleblower is, she mentions that she read some of Toby's murder mystery novel he's writing, leading to a bit where Toby tells her to write her own damn novel. This one I found by complete accident while watching random videos just because, in the video, The Best of Toby Flenderson, without Michael, at 2:07 to 2:48. Later on, we get a talking head interview with David Wallace where he confesses to have leaked info on Saber to the press in The Best of David Wallace at 8:09 to 8:20. And finally, we have the bit with that one guy who should have been in the new Scott Pilgrim show, which I found in The IT Guy Exposes Everyone's Secrets. This clip added another 1 minute and 42 seconds to the total length, putting the total clip runtime of this episode at 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Which compared to the 21 minute and 30 second length of the actual episode is pathetic, considering we're missing 17 minutes and 31 seconds this time. Well, that was a bust compared to Casino Night. I don't know what this proves other than that most episodes are better than others. So that must mean that the last episode we do, the one that's not critically acclaimed, has the least amount of clips. Right? Now, the lowest rated episode of The Office is called The Banker, which is actually just a clip show. This was merely done as a cost-cutting measure, and I understand why this episode is probably ranked the lowest, even if it just reuses bits from much better episodes. I didn't end up going with this because that would be cheating, as the bits in it are probably much easier to find because they're so popular, and plus, I couldn't find any clips of the framing device of this episode in which the banker interviews Toby. Oh hey, it's Gale from Breaking Bad. Boy, it's a good thing he didn't show up when Jesse did.
Are there any outstanding liability issues to be aware of?
But that was too soft.
Anyway, I decided to ultimately go with another episode that's not viewed favorably. Season 9, Episode 14, Vandalism. And something actually shocking, despite this episode not being viewed so hot, I actually managed to find quite a bit of clips for this one. The episode's cold open begins with Aaron and Daryl performing all kinds of elaborate schemes to make sure nobody notices Daryl leaving the office early so he can go to Philly. This whole bit, minus the ending where the bear stand-in for Daryl falls down, was uploaded to YouTube in Best of Aaron at 1:57 to 2:55. This opening, once again, I used the Minions one, but because the television version of this episode was in Season 9, it's even shorter than it was in the Season 6 episode. It literally just shows the beginning, Jim kissing Pam, and then the ending of the traditional opening.
I think at this point in the show, they're like, yeah, it's The Office. I mean, you'll watch it, right? You know. Let's just get into it.
So I had to find the bit where Jim kisses Pam, which I managed to do in Jim and Dwight Have a Heart-to-Heart at 2:24 to 2:28. So far, we've constructed about 1 minute and 8 seconds. Not bad so far. Opening the second act, we get a scene where Pam finds out that her mural in the warehouse has been defaced, and that some stuff is happening in the B story with Angela involving her son and a senator or whatever. I couldn't find these clips, sad to say, but next up is a scene involving the C story where we find out that Jim and Daryl are living together in Philly, in Jim is the worst roommate. This video in particular is actually a collection of clips of the whole C story for this episode, giving us a whopping 3 minutes and 54 seconds to add to our counter. Next up in the episode, Pam flirts with a boom operator named Brian, which I could not find.
What kind of stupid name is Brian?
Pam calls a meeting, which I found in Pam and Dwight, Best of Friends, at 6:23 to 6:50. Pam then tries to rally the office against the warehouse people, but only gets Dwight and Nellie to help her. I only managed to find the end bit of this exchange, however, which I also found in Pam and Dwight, Best of Friends, at 7:25 to 7:40. From that same video, I also found this one bit where Dwight mentions that he has a pitchfork at 7:40 to 7:55. And then we get another part of Angela's B story, which I couldn't find because I'm guessing the YouTube channel thought this plotline was boring too. Okay, so this one actually kind of made me a little upset. In this next bit, Pam's group tries to get everybody in the warehouse to draw butts so they can compare them to the actual mural. And when that doesn't work, they learn from Daniel Wormold from Better Call Saul that the warehouse worker Frank did it. Not only did I find this scene uploaded to The Office Finding an Art Criminal, but I also found the exact same clip was uploaded under the title Dwight's Fetish. That's right, the official Office YouTube channel uploaded the exact same individual clip twice. Once on November 1st, 2017, and once again on September 16th, 2021. Sure, there are slight differences in the video presentations, like how the outros are both different and how finding an art criminal accidentally leaves in one frame of Angela at the beginning of it. I guess we can include that B-plot after all. But the clips themselves, they are the same thing. I understand uploading the same clip to different compilations like earlier, but the individual clip, it was released twice. How do you do that? Anyway, I guess I shouldn't complain because this gives us another 1 minute and 44 seconds of the episode. There's another bit with Angela's B-plot which I couldn't find, so that brings our reconstructed episode up to 8 minutes and 43 seconds. Now, with the exception of the Jim and Daryl subplot I mentioned earlier, I couldn't find any clips of the third act of this episode in which Pam and Dwight decide to get back at Frank with the help of Clark. You know, Clark, the iconic Office character introduced in Season 9, no? Yeah, I searched him up on the YouTube channel and couldn't find anything on him, so I don't think the social media team knows who he is either. The final act starts with a bit with the oh-so-lovable Clark before transitioning into Dwight and Pam defacing Frank's truck. This was found in Pam and Dwight Best of Friends at 8:05 to 8:50. Next up in the episode, Frank attempts to attack Pam before Brian steps in and fights him off, resulting in him getting fired from the show. If only Clark were there.
Hey guys! Post Brian here again. So it turns out, shocker, get this, Past Brian forgot to mention something. That's right, he forgot to mention that both bits with the character of Brian can be found under the YouTube video, The Office, but it's just the relationship sabotaging. And what an appropriate title for the video. I mean, sabotaging, Past Brian's trying to sabotage my time by just forgetting to mention this stuff in the video. I mean, this video is never gonna come out, guys. It's just, I got more stuff I gotta do.
I kind of forgot that the show was trying to force this plot line where Pam flirts with a boom operator while Jim starts a business in Philly. Maybe that's why this episode is viewed so low. I mean, besides the boring B-plot with Angela, this episode isn't that bad. Regardless, this exchange gives us another 1 minute and 13 seconds, bringing our final total of clips for this episode to 10 minutes and 41 seconds. Compare that to the episode's actual length of 21:54, and we have almost reconstructed half of the episode. Boy, this video's just been filled with disappointment, hasn't it? Regardless, though, I mean, we still found quite a bit of clips from this episode, which is interesting because it's one of the lowest rated episodes of The Office out there. I had a thought going into this video that since NBC initially released the first 2 seasons of The Office for free back when Peacock started, they would primarily upload clips from the first 2 seasons and would hold off on later ones so people could actually watch them by purchasing a subscription to Peacock. But surprisingly, there were quite a number of clips on this episode, even more so than I was expecting. Therefore, while we didn't make our halfway goal, I still consider this part a success for proving that it's not just clips of early seasons being released at a rapid rate, but later ones as well.
Hey guys, Post Brian here again. I'm fine for the record, but I just wanted to let you all know that I figured some people would be curious to see if any of this info was actually accurate, so I decided to put it all down on a separate Google Doc, which you can actually go to in the description below. You can double check my work to see what is accurate and what is not. And, there are timestamps for, like, the actual episode length and, like, the length of the clips on YouTube. So if you, like, want to, triple verify that everything that I did was accurate, like, to the video, feel free to do so. And, that's that. Okay, now on to the conclusion of the video. Thank God, it's almost over.
So what does all this info tell us about The Office YouTube channel? Going into this video, I expected to find a lot of clips from the Casino Night episode, but I didn't expect to find all these clips from an episode like Vandalism, or even The Whistleblower, despite the success rate on that. I'm sure if I dug real deep, I could reconstruct the entire episodes of the show if I wanted to, but I already spent a lot of time in this video that I don't think I'll be able to right now. Still, this has been a fun experiment, and it kind of made me come to a certain realization. Despite how much The Office is shoved down our collective throats, we sure can't get enough of it. While I was working on this video and watching the episodes of the show to break them down, I found myself watching several clips on my own time and watching full-length episodes just because. I guess that means that despite how many clips are uploaded and shared online, that the show has this addictive quality that makes you want to seek it out more and more. My initial concern was that the official YouTube channel was destroying The Office by uploading constant clips of it thereby decreasing the value of the show. But in actuality, I found that the official channel has been careful to only show enough clips in specific places to make people want to watch The Office as it was originally released. From what I've gathered from watching the show, and from the overall fan community who eats a lot of these clips up, there's still a market to be tapped into. And it's not like the show has lost viewership when it moved from Netflix to Peacock. It's still doing well, and its legacy definitely helps in that regard. People love The Office and will continue to love it for years, but it helps to look back and wonder if things are getting out of hand sometimes. As long as the official media team keeps it up and remains careful with how they expose new fans to the property, I think the risk of The Office dying off will remain low, and we can continue to love this show for generations to come. I hope that this video helped reinvigorate some people's love for the show, and hey, if you're feeling up to it, maybe you can try this experiment out for yourself. I'd like to see if it's possible to finish reconstructing these episodes, especially the whistleblower. I didn't find too much success with that, so I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see how much of the show people can recreate using just clips from the YouTube channel. I think that's a great way to kind of flex your knowledge of the show, so consider this a tutorial on a new little game that I am starting. I don't know. I don't know why I'm saying all this. But let me close this video out by saying one thing. The UK version of The Office is better and you should watch it. Okay, bye! Oh, fuck me, dude.